Okay, everyone, so just like our Pixar movie list, which if you haven't seen, by the way, we encourage you to check that out. This list was based solely off of our opinions.
Yeah, just because your favorite movie isn't on here doesn't mean we don't like it.
Yeah, this was actually harder than our Pixar video because there are so many Disney movies. So we decided to narrow it down to just Disney animated movies.
Okay, so let's go.
The movie that landed number 5 on my list is Wreck-It Ralph. I really liked the movie. I thought it was cool how King Candy eventually ended up turning into Turbo, and I really wasn't expecting that.
See, for me, I didn't have that issue. I have this problem when I go and watch movies that I see the plots kind of before they develop. You guys have seen this with me,
Yeah.
a couple of movies. I pick out the villains right away. So I wasn't really surprised that he turned out to be the bad guy. I was actually more surprised to find out that this was a Disney animated, not a Disney Pixar. It looks like Pixar.
Yeah, it definitely has that Pixar feel. It's higher on my list, so I won't go into too much detail now. But definitely a really good movie.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and do my number 5. My number 5 was Mulan. Mulan is one of the most underrated Disney movies, in my opinion, of all time. You think about the songs, the story arc, everything from top to bottom. Just, in my opinion, one of the best movies that I've ever seen from Disney. I'm going to just tell you really quickly about my favorite scene from this movie. Mulan comes home after saving the entire kingdom. She gets all of this rewards from the emperor.
Yeah, she gets Shan Yu's sword and
Yeah, and gets this medal and hands him to her father, thinking that it's going to honor her father. And her father basically tosses him to the side, embraces her, and says, "The greatest gift of all is having you for a daughter." So it was a really powerful scene for me.
Yeah, so Mulan is actually number 5 on my list as well. I'll Make a Man Out of You is one of the great Disney songs it's definitely underrated. I love the whole aspect of this movie. It's a woman who is treated bad in the beginning of the movie, but because she portrays herself as a man in the camp, she is treated well, even though she's the same exact person, and then she ends up saving the people who treated her bad. So it's a great whole complete story, and Mushu is one of a good comic relief characters played by Eddie Murphy. Very well done.
Yeah, this movie was really good, but it's not on my list.
Okay, so what's your number 4 then?
Okay, my number 4 is Aladdin. I thought this movie was really cool. The music's good, the characters are good, everything's good. I really liked it.
I'm not going to go into too much detail about Aladdin because it's actually higher up on my list, so I'll just leave it at it's higher up on my list.
Yeah, Aladdin didn't make my list for the sole fact that there are a few more recent Disney movies that I enjoy more, but definitely a classic staple Disney movie. I love it.
Okay, you want to do your number 4?
Yeah, my number 4 is Tangled. Now this one I believe is also underrated. I thought personally it was a Pixar movie when it first came out, but it was
Same.
not. The song that Flynn and Rapunzel sing while they're on the lake watching the lanterns go up is a chilling song. When I hear it, every time I get the chills. Just a great love story.
Yeah, I thought it was cool how every time she'd look out the window on her birthday and see those lanterns going up, and she finally found out that they were for her.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. My favorite scene from this movie is when Flynn is fighting the horse. Flynn's got a frying pan and the horse has the sword, and Flynn's line, "This is the strangest thing I've ever done." Just it always gets to me. It's pretty funny. So my number 4 is actually The Nightmare Before Christmas. I think that this is, again, one of these really, I'm not going to say underrated.
It's kind
but
of obscure.
It's obscure. Yeah, definitely obscure. I like that word. It's just kind of random. The way that it's shot, it's not done in the traditional style that most Disney movies are, but it has every aspect of a good Disney movie. It's got great songs. It's got great character development. It's got everything that you expect from a Disney movie, and I think it's really well done. One thing that I will say about it is I think the symbolism is definitely there.
Yeah.
So you have Christmas invading all of these holidays all the time, and in this case it's kind of like the reverses, or the roles are reversed.
Yeah.
And Halloween is actually the one doing the invading.
Yeah, and the point I want to touch about this movie is that the animation is definitely unique. It's a unique blend of claymation and regular animation, which I found very appealing.
Yeah, I thought it was cool how they made the characters look creepy because I'm a horror fan.
Okay.
Alright, and
Who's number 4?
I'll go with my number 3.
Oh, number 3. I'm sorry.
My number 3 is Wreck-It Ralph. It was lower on his list, but it's higher on mine because I'm a huge video game guy, and seeing my favorite video game characters on the big screen is something I never thought I would see. And I like the whole relationship between Ralph and Vanellope, and the whole story of him being a villain, being seen as this bad guy, and him being at heart a good person, and him just wanting to fit in with his fellow video game characters, and the whole ending is just a perfect knot on the bow of this great movie.
Yeah, that movie was really cool. Like I said, it was on my list earlier. My favorite part of the movie is when Vanellope and Wreck-It Ralph built the car together and he just smashed everything.
Yeah.
And it came out looking crazy and she just loved it. I thought it was really cool.
Well, see, for me, I just like the voice acting. John C. Reilly did a really good job
Yeah,
as Wreck-It
definitely.
Ralph. The whole movie, to me, I just really liked it. It didn't make my list. Yeah, sadly, there's just too many Disney movies to choose from sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right,
Number three.
I'll do my number 3 is Lion King. Again, another great movie, has great characters, great songs. My favorite part of the movie is when Rafiki gets Simba and he just puts it out so everyone can see him, and then everyone like kneels and stuff. I just thought that was really awesome.
It's funny when you find out the reason why everybody kneels if you've ever seen Lion King 1.5.
Yeah, definitely, definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it. Lion King for me is another one of those staple Disney movies. It didn't make my list because I'm more of like more recent Disney movies made my list. But Lion King is definitely a staple classic Disney movie. I love it.
See, I have another obscure title. I think that's kind of my trend going on here. My number 3 is a Goofy movie. It's one that probably isn't one of the big box office. It's not one of the ones you think of when you think of Disney, but this movie was really, really great. Goofy is one of my favorite Disney staple characters, and this was just a relationship between a father and a son, and how their adventure kind of made them bond.
Yeah, definitely. When we were younger, this movie, we had it on VHS, and anytime we went on any road trip, this was playing over and over and nonstop. So it's definitely a movie that hits home with me.
Yeah, it's a really great movie. If I would have remembered it, it would have been on my list, but I didn't remember it for some reason.
All right, so what is your number 2, Brandon?
My number 2 is Lilo and Stitch. Another great Disney movie. I really like the characters, and one of my favorite part is when Lilo hits
Myrtle.
When Lilo hits Myrtle in the face. I thought that was really funny. I mean, it's not that great, but I mean, it's funny.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch is actually higher on my list, so I don't want to go into too much detail, but definitely a good movie to have on this list.
Higher on your list? What number could that possibly be?
I don't know.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch was a good movie. It did not make my list, but the one thing that I really think is cool about the movie Lilo and Stitch is the whole family dynamic. And what I mean by that is you take all of these fractured, broken individuals. They have their issues. They're not by any means perfect people, but you take all of these characters and you put them together, and these incomplete pieces make this complete, strong family unit, and I think that's really cool. Stitch was created to be a monster that destroys everything, and yet he becomes like this glue that holds the family together. It's a really cool kind of like finding your place in life story
definitely.
to me. So I definitely agree with that one as well. My number 2 is actually Aladdin. So, I mean, Aladdin is one of these movies where it's got just everything that you come to expect from Disney. It's got the music, it's got the artwork. I like how it's a little bit multicultural. They're not just focusing on the same normal kind of princesses. This is a Persian story. My wife and daughter are both Persian, so it's pretty interesting from that perspective. But like I said, the songs in it are great. The characters in it are great. Robin Williams is the genie. I mean, you just don't get better than that with comic relief. And they even have a counterpart to his, good guy comic relief in Iago, the bad guy comic relief, which is definitely a cool plus for this movie. So yeah, Aladdin is one of my top movies.
Yeah, A Whole New World is my favorite Disney song and is a classic Disney song. When you hear it, it's like, oh, that's classic Disney. It's a beautiful song, and it's just an overall great story.
Yeah, I thought it was cool how Jasmine had a pet tiger. I have a tiger tattoo, so I just thought that was awesome.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and do my number 1 if you guys don't mind. My number 1 is The Lion King, actually. All of the movies, if you notice, Lion King, Aladdin, Goofy movie, the last couple that I've done, they all came out around the same time because it was right in that sweet spot of age for Disney, like that, I think 5 to maybe 12 years old or so. So these movies all came out at about the same time, but The Lion King has everything. It's got one of the greatest Disney villains of all time. Like, you really, truly hate this guy. He kills his brother, Simba's father. He organizes with the hyenas. There's like a Nazi scene in there. He's got all the things going for him, and then just like the cherry on top when he hits Simba's mother, when he hits Sarabi, like he's got the domestic violence on top of it. You just want him to die, and Disney actually comes through by
he's one of the few characters that actually dies on screen.
You actually see him die on screen, or at least you see him get mauled by the hyenas. They fade off to the shadows, but he definitely has it coming, and he does make another appearance in Hercules, if you remember. So he's got that scene where they're doing the painting, and Hercules has him draped over him. Anyway,
Yeah, so my number one is Lilo and Stitch. So if my shirt didn't give it away already, by the way. And so I love the character Stitch. He's by far my favorite Disney character. Mainly based on his character development. So he's created to be this monster that destroys anything and everything. And he finds, comfort in this little girl who has no friends and, is bullied all the time by these mean little girls that she dances with. And it's a very just heartwarming story. Seeing Stitch learn that having a family is one of the most important things you can do in life, and that really hits home with me because I'm very close to my family. It's just an all-around fantastic movie.
Yeah, I thought it was funny how Jumba and Plickly would always dress up in wigs and stuff, and no one ever realized that they were aliens.
Yeah.
You gonna do your number one?
All right, and my number one is Moana, and all I have to say is muscle up, Buttercup. And obviously, my favorite character in that movie is Maui. Thought he was really cool, and The Rock, I didn't know he could sing, and his song "You're Welcome" is just really, really funny.
Yeah, Disney has been doing an amazing job. Well, they always have done an amazing job with their songs. I mean, there's very few Disney movies I can think of that have like songs in it that you just don't like.
Yeah.
That just does not happen. That's rare. I think that would be an even harder list to come up with.
Yeah.
Like the worst of the Disney movies or the worst of the Disney songs, because they're all so good, so well done.
Yeah, Moana, I really love the movie. Pretty much every Disney movie has this scene where it gives me chills. And the scene where Moana's finally going off on her own to return the heart of Te Fiti, you see they have this shot where she's coming towards the camera, and in the background you see the hut, and the light, kind of goes out as her grandmother passes away, and then all of a sudden you see this neon neon ray come into view, and it passes her, and it goes up, and as it comes out of the water, the music hits its peak, and it's just like an overall great moment, and it gives me chills every time I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was our top 5 list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We're going to go ahead and give you a recap right now.
About our list, did we leave any good movies out?
Let us know in the comment section below what would make your top 5.
As soon as we hit 100 subscribers, we are going to give away a brand new Jumbo Pillow Pet to one of our lucky subscribers.
Thanks, guys. See you
Thanks
next
for
time.
watching. We'll see you later.